Okay, good morning, everybody. Tuesday, October 13th, Board of Control. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Good morning, everyone. It is now 11:01 a.m. Calling the roll for the Tuesday, October 13th Board of Control meeting. We have Dale Miller.
Here.
Nan Baker.
Here.
Jim Boyle, serving as an alternate for Dan Brady.
Present.
Nicole English, serving as an alternate for Mike Dever.
Here.
Mike Chambers, serving as an alternate for Armin Budish.
Here.
Lee Tucker, serving as an alternate for the fiscal officer.
Here.
And Lenora Lockett. Here. We have a quorum.
Okay, next on our agenda is the review of the minutes. I'm going to ask any of our colleagues if they have any concerns with the minutes from October 5th. Speak now. Okay, hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second? Seconded by Lee Tucker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, minutes approved. Public comment. Do we have anyone from the public? May speak now. Okay, no public comment. Moving on.
The first new item is BC 2020-562, Department of Public Works, recommending an award on a purchase order to Bob Gillingham Ford in the amount not to exceed $116,436, and is for the purchase of 3 new, never titled 2021 Ford all-wheel drive Explorers.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Department of Public Works. This first item, it's an award recommendation to Bob Gillingham. It's of 3 Ford SUV. This was a formal bid conducted with OPD. It went to 13 vendors, and we had 1 bid submission. It did come in under the estimates. There were some questions that were related to all the vehicle purchases. The first item, second, and third item. Hopefully, you're able to see the answers to those. There was a question that I was not able to answer in my reply on Friday morning. It was related to the CARES Act and reimbursement. I did work with Catherine from the Innovation Department. She pointed out points that were on the Treasury's fact sheet. It basically summarized it that if we don't dispose of these vehicles before the end of this year, December 30th of 2020, we would not have to reimburse the federal government. And then it stated that there was a question that may government assets purchase with payment from the fund, and the question on the Treasury website was yes, as long as they're consistent with the limitations.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Are there any questions from the board members on this item?
Yes, this is Dale, and I didn't hear all of that last response, and I'm not sure I understood the part that I did hear. So my question is if you could talk a little bit more about whether there are any circumstances where if the coronavirus goes away relatively quickly, hope, and that we use these vehicles for corona-related purposes for a relatively small part of their lifetime. Are there any circumstances where we would have to reimburse the federal government for part of the cost of the vehicles?
Based on the response that I got, and which was basically from Treasury's website, is as long as we don't dispose of those this year, that we will not have to reimburse them, and that we will be able to retain the assets that we paid for this year for those. Beyond that, I can't really gauge for sure. I don't know if anyone else, I could continue researching this. I can work with...
Tom, hang tight for a second. Mike Chambers here. I know we have a lot of assets that we are accumulating, and the guidance does call for that the county can obtain ownership and remain ownership. This is happening all over the country, so as long as they were used to mitigate the virus, which these vehicles are, to separate people out, they're eligible. So the assets will remain with the county and nothing will be paid back.
Okay, well, it sounds like a good deal for the county.
Yeah. Are there any further questions from our colleagues?
Hi, this is Jim Boyle. Just, Tom, at the back end with the
presumably these vehicles that we are purchasing are replacing current vehicles, correct?
Many of these are gonna be new. You know, I think a big piece of purchasing, vehicles was to ensure there was proper social distance. Many of our cases, for these example, this item, there's 3, Ford Explorers. One would be for facilities, one would be health and safety, the other would be sanitary. In many cases, with a lot of our divisions, we've got multiple, staff, multiple employees traveling in the same vehicle. So, in addition to providing, additional, social distancing, you know, there's additional vehicles that could be carrying additional people and or supplies around. So, most of these are going to be vehicles.
All right, so what I'm getting at is the back end of this process, which is that I assume when we dispose of vehicles, we sell them. I mean, I assume they have some value at the end of their depreciated lifespan. Is that our past practice, Tom?
Typically, we utilize OPD's gov deals when we purchase vehicles. Historically, we're buying, say we're buying 3 Ford Explorers and they're not COVID, say COVID doesn't exist. You know, typically those would be replacements. If they're deemed salvageable, we would put these on OPD's gov deals and auction those off.
Right, that's what I was getting at. And so what I am concerned about is that, you know, if you're holding the opinion, or at least the position that these vehicles are new and that they're not replacing vehicles, obviously then we're going to have an enormous increase in our number of vehicles, which increases insurance and traveling and all the other stuff, and gas, et cetera, which is a different issue. But as it relates to if these vehicles are deemed to be replacing vehicles, what I am concerned, to follow up on Councilman Miller's question, is that if and when there comes a point in time when we do get rid of them in some process, whether it's through gov deals or otherwise, we would be gaining some money. I mean, are we going to be obligated to recompense the federal government for, I mean, in essence, they're giving us a new car that they're paying for, and then in a year, we're going to sell an old one and gain some money back. And I just don't know, it's not really a question for fiscal nor for public works, but rather for law, to determine whether or not that's going to be something that we're going to be on the hook in a year or two, and I just don't know the answer.
Jim, this is Nicole.
Something that you guys have discussed?
This is Nicole English. Yeah, I think it goes back to those guidelines that we've gotten from the Treasury. As long as they are being used through this year, then they become the county's asset, and we would not have to pay back any funds.
They specifically, Mike Chambers here, they specifically addressed that in one of the questions that the owners.
Sure, and that's great, but so, Jared, are you on the call? Somebody from law, can you just kind of follow up with that? I get it, I've read the same thing, and I agree with that. I think that's the answer. But I do, just for legal purposes, I just want to make sure that somebody from law is articulate.
Yes, I am on the call, and we will look into that and get back.
Thank you.
And typically, many vehicles that the county does auction off, they're not 1 or 2 years old. These are typically,
Right, they're old.
like 8 to 15 years old, so.
Right, with tons of miles on them. And it's not a significant amount of dollars that we would get in the back end of that. You're correct.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any final questions from the board members?
This is Nan Baker. Just a quick comment, I guess, that when we do decide to finally sell these new pieces of vehicles, that they will probably be worth less because they won't be as efficient as most vehicles during that time, that the pandemic is over, been over for a while, and most wanting to purchase vehicles want the most they could get in capacity than what perhaps these vehicles will be offering. So it's just something to consider at the time of the sale.
Okay, duly noted. With that, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, this is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Item approved. Next item, please.
Item number BC 2020-563, Department of Public Works, recommending an award on a purchase order to, again, Bob Gillingham Ford in the amount not to exceed $107,000, and it's for the purchase of 4 new, never titled 2021 Ford Transit Connect vans.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Public Works again. Similar to the last item, this was the recommendation award to Bob Gillingham. This for four transit vans. This was a formal bid through OPD, went to 13 vendors. We had one bid submitted, and this was several $100s over the estimate of 106,708. And this is the award recommendation.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Any questions from the board on this item?
Man Baker, again, these are new vehicles, not replacement. This is in addition to what we have.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, any final questions? Hearing none, then I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, this is Boyle.
Seconded by Mr. Boyle. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Item number BC 2020-564, Department of Public Works, recommending an award on a purchase order to Donnell Ford Lincoln of Salem, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $284,400, and it's for the purchase of 9 new, never titled 2020 Ford F-250 Super Cab pickup trucks.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, once again, Public Works. Recommendation order to Donnell Ford. It's for 9 F-250 pickup trucks. This was a formal bid through OPD, went to 14 vendors. We had 2 bids that were pulled and received. We're going with the lowest bidder, which is Donnell Ford.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Any questions from the board on this item?
Hey, Tom,
Ma'am,
this is, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, man, I apologize.
oh, no problem. Just 2 quick questions. One, again, this is in addition to the vehicles that we now have. And secondly, yes, thank you.
Yeah, yes.
And secondly, pickup trucks. So that has a bed and limited seating. So how do you make that CARES compliant?
Well, again, many of our crews, these particular ones are going to be going to a mix of departments. Road and Bridge, Sanitary, I believe one of these is actually for Consumer Affairs. These are all departments where we've got multiple employees driving in the same vehicle. It does not have the back row like SUVs or the vans. Those transit vans, the previous item, are only 2 rows as well. Typically, the back is a storage area. But these trucks, for the same reason, some of these are going to be with Road and Bridge, where we usually have 2 guys to a crew. It could be for the signage on the Road and Bridge division. There's other areas. So it is going to be for social distancing, additional hauling of stuff. They have to go to a project off-site, be it Sanitary, Road and Bridge.
Thank you. So as a visual, a pickup truck, would that person sit in the back seat? How would you have social distancing in a pickup truck with 2 people?
This is Nicole English. I think what's happening is today in the pickup trucks, 2 people ride in the cab together. And so with the addition of these new trucks, they would be single riders in the pickup trucks.
That's correct.
Oh, single riders.
Correct. Where now they're forced to ride together in that front cab, which is close quarters.
Okay, so single riders. All right, thank you very much.
Any final questions on this item from the board?
Yeah, hey, Tom, this is Jim Boyle again.
Yeah.
I think purchases of new vehicles is one of the, and Mike, you would probably know better than I think is one of the items that we see on the state tax list that is decreased fairly significantly. I think, maybe I have that wrong. And I'm curious if we sent off the bids to, what'd you say, like 12? How many potential bidders?
14 qualified vendors got this bid.
And we only got 2 people responded. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that?
Historically, from as long as I've been with Public Works, or for the county, of that matter, when I was in OPD, the vehicles don't yield too many bidders. And it could be for unknown reasons. I believe, some of these companies, they don't make much profit, off of these vehicles. Excuse me. So they'll put forth a lot of effort to, have to get these vehicles, wherever they get them from. To a lot of these dealers, it may not be worth it. We've reevaluated our plan holders list, like the 14 vendors on that plan holders list. We've reevaluated those lists over the past year, and we're continuously trying to update those to make sure we're getting the bids in the hands of the right people, the dealerships. But historically, you know, we haven't yielded more than, I mean, typically we get 1 to 3 bids for vehicles. I don't remember ever where we've gotten more than 3. So
I'm
that's
surprised by that. I think they'd want to unload some of their inventory. Perhaps the profit margin might be what they were expecting on a, you know, off the lot sale. But I mean, to be able to unload, you know, what are we purchasing, 9 vehicles here, right?
Yep.
I mean, I guess it might be an inventory thing, but all right, that's fine. I just was curious. Thank you.
Yeah, we're constantly trying to make sure we do the right outreach and we get these in the hands of the right people. You know, this year with vehicles, you know, because there was such a stoppage, you know, at the beginning of the year, with a lot of even the car makers, you know, they may not have the inventory they once had.
All right.
Okay, any other final questions on this item from the board? Hearing none, then I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, this is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, item approved. Next item.
Item number BC 2020-565, Department of Public Works, recommending an award on requisition 48699 and into contract number 39 with HEPCO LLC in the amount not to exceed $49,500, and it's for the removal of an underground storage tank for the period October 13th, 2020 through August 30th, 2021.
Good morning, Tom Pavich again, Public Works. So this item is the recommendation of award with HEPCO. It's a not to exceed dollar amount. It's for the removal of the underground storage tanks. There's actually 2 6,000 fuel tanks on Fitch Road in the township. It was an informal competitive bid. We bid this out. It went to 15 vendors. We did have 2 bids that were received, and we're making the award to the lowest bidder, which is HEPCO.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions from the board on this item? Okay, hearing none, then I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, item approved. Next item.
Item number BC 2020-566, Treasurer's Office, recommending an award on a purchase order to Midwest Presort Mailing Services, Inc., doing business as Midwest Direct, in the amount not to exceed $61,049.28 for the printing and mailing of approximately 800,000 first and last half of 2020 real property and delinquency collection tax bills, in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 323.08.
Good morning. This is Deputy Treasurer Raymond McDaniel. This bid is one of the lowest bids that we received, and again, it's for us to make sure that we get the production and printing of our tax bills for the first half, second half, and the third billing. We're not going to exceed the $61,000. We do have a history with this company. They've done our tax billing and production of our tax bills in the prior years, and they have met our expectations.
Thank you, Ray. Are there any questions from the board members on this item?
This is Boyle. Ray, is this dollar amount in this contract for all, because you labeled, I think, first quarter, how many separate mailings is this for?
This is going to be for 2 mailings of the bills, and then there's going to be a delinquent mailing for the third billing as part of the third billing. So you're looking at January and July, and then you're going to have one in October sometime, September, October.
And this dollar amount will cover all 3 of those mailings?
Yes.
Okay.
Any further questions from the board? Hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, this is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Item number BC 2020-567, Office of Innovation and Performance, submitting an amendment to a contract with Ascendant Strategy Management Group LLC for the provision of a performance management software solution to support data collection, analysis, and reporting of performance measures. It's for the period December 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2020, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2021, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $27,900.
Good morning, everyone. Becky Eby from the Office of Innovation and Performance. Since 2019, the county has used ClearPoint Strategy to manage Cuyahoga performance measures associated with the county strategic plan. This is a performance management software solution provided by Ascendant Strategy Management, and it has really supported the creation and sharing of customized reports, including a public-facing performance dashboard to inform decision-making, show strategic plan progress, and increase transparency. ClearPoint has really been integral to our efforts to implement performance management best practices. It's helped us refine our measure pages and the Cuyahoga performance dashboard, and it's also supported the development of additional scorecards. This includes an opioid settlement scorecard used to track initiative progress and measure performance of those agencies receiving opioid settlement funds, as well as a Public Safety and Justice Services Department scorecard. Additionally, we've used data collected through ClearPoint Strategy to support development of the county's annual overviews, as well as in defense of the Cuyahoga County Health and Human Services Levy and a 2020 presentation to the Greater Cleveland Partnership. And as a result of these performance management practices, the county was recognized with a Certificate of Achievement in Performance Management by the International City and County Management Association in 2020. So this contract amendment, as the clerk said, would extend the term of the original contract through December 31st of 2021 and increase the dollar amount by $27,900. This is in line with the original contract terms, which was a 3-year contract with the option to extend for 2 additional 1-year periods. So this is our first amendment, and just like we did in 2020, we would use 2021 performance to elect to extend this contract for a future additional year, after which we would go out with a new RFP for this item.
Thank you, Becky. Are there any questions from the board members on this item?
Nan Baker,
Real
I have a
quick.
question.
Oh, go ahead, Nan.
Oh, thank you. Becky, could you give us the opioid settlement funds breakdown of how much each agency is receiving and what they were using those funds for, if I understood you correctly?
So I'm working with Brandy Carney on that, but she and I can run that report for you and get you guys a copy of what's currently in our system. We're working on the Q3 report right now, so agencies receiving funds are in the middle of reporting what's happened through September of this year. So I can run you with what's currently in there. If you want to wait a couple of weeks, we can get you the Q3 reports, whatever works best for you.
I can wait a couple of weeks, just so it, it doesn't get lost in the shuffle, but it would be, I think, an important report to review. So that's of course doing this. The second thing is, you mentioned the Greater Cleveland Partnership. There was I think there was a mutual understanding that there would be a support of regional tech that the Greater Cleveland Partnership has on their platform of accomplishment. Is that part of this also? Are you also including that strategy in this software to, meet them to what they thought they were agreeing to at the time that they supported the HHS levy?
So I don't have the specific details on that, Nan, so I don't want to answer one way or another. But if you want to give me, I can get back with you on that. I know that we are focused on reporting both on community indicators that report kind of the environment that we're working in from our region. So we have these community, high-level indicators as well as county-specific measures. And we pulled a lot of our county-specific measures in that presentation that Catherine gave to GCP. So if you want to follow up with me on that question, I can get an answer to you. I don't know all the details because I wasn't in that meeting, so I don't want to misspeak.
Okay, thank you. Joe Roman, I think, is on the record for asking now that, you know, the HHA survey has passed, that
Yeah.
are we going to be organizing a team or a strategy or a panel or something? I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure what he is anticipating, but there was a mutual agreement, I think at the time, that that would be looked into, and I'm just not sure if this is where it would land.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
Yep, thanks, Dan.
Mr. Boyle, did you have a question, sir?
Yeah, very briefly. First, Becky, thank you. Obviously, the introduction of performance-based metrics for governmental agencies is important, you know, whether we're selling dog licenses or figuring out how many people bond out at the Justice Center. And so I guess my question is, presumably there's some sort of, is there a public dashboard where we can access to see the numbers that you know, and where is that?
Yeah, so it's on the county's website. I don't want to give you like the actual hyperlink over. Because I don't know exactly the hyperlink, but it is on our webpage. I believe it's connected to the executive strategic plan. But happy to share that link with everyone. The easiest way probably to get to it is, you know, cuyahogacounty.us/innovation, and that'll take you to our offices page. And if you look at organizational initiatives, it'll take you to the Cuyahoga Performance Dashboard. But it is publicly online, and we publish an executive summary every quarter as well to highlight, you know, some successes and any changes we've made to measure pages and new measures that have been rolled out. So it's all on there, and we update it quarterly.
And so, backing it up to Councilwoman Baker's question, presumably then the already inputted data regarding the opioid money should be available for her there, I would assume, right?
So we haven't pushed that. We haven't. So that's two separate things. So the opioid piece is separate from Cuyahoga Performance. It's not something that has been pushed out publicly just yet, but that's definitely something that we could consider and talk about how best to roll that out.
All right, but ClearPoint is doing that. I think
Yes,
that was
yes, all that data and all those metrics are in there. Yep.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
Okay, any final questions from the board on this item? Hearing none, then I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, this is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? Item approved. Moving on.
Moving on to exemptions, item number BC 2020-568, Department of Public Works, recommending an alternative procurement process which will result in a participation agreement with the City of Brecksville Purchasing Consortium in the amount not to exceed $49,500, and it's for the purchase of sodium chloride, also known as rock salt, for the period November 1st, 2020 through October 31st, 2021.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Public Works again. This item, we're recommending an alternative procurement. This allows Public Works and the county to participate in the City of Brecksville Purchasing Consortium. This is for the purchase of rock salt for the upcoming winter season, unfortunately. We've historically been a participant of this consortium with Brecksville for many years now. This was last bid by City of Brecksville in 2018. Cargill is the low bidder. The pricing this year is $63.41 per ton. It's the exact same price as last winter season with the same minimums and maximums. Eventually the purchase order will come back to the board for the funding. This is just the approval of us joining the actual consortium for rock salt with the other cities.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions from the board members on this item? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Boyle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Item approved. Moving on.
Moving on to the consent agenda, item numbers BC 2020-569 through 570.
If you take a moment, please, to look through the consent agenda and feel free to speak at any time with any item. Okay, are there any questions on today's agenda, consent agenda? All right, hearing none, then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve. Do I have a second, please?
Second, this is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Today's consent agenda item is approved. Moving on.
Is there any public comment at this time? There's no other business.
Feel free to speak now. Public comment? Once, twice, no public comment. Therefore, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Lee Tucker. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.